Floyd happened. George Floyd died. And so we were living right kind of at ground zero. Everything was pretty much smoldering and in flames.
Mr. Floyd feels like family to me. Everything from his stature, his features, the life that he was living by also choice and force. That is a part of, it is a thread that runs through every single thing that happened after his murder and without any recognitions before.
It was a really tangible representation of the pain and the trauma that this community had been through. I think throughout the night, it became clear to say, like, that's my office, that's where I work, that's the window that I look out every day.
In 2020, after the murder of George Floyd, there was civil unrest, and the Wells Fargo branch at Lake and Nicollet was burnt down. The Wells Fargo real estate team came and said, maybe we should just lease a space at the strip mall across the street. And there were some Minnesota Wells Fargo leaders that said, absolutely not. We are a pillar in this community. We need to rebuild.
The point about opportunity is one that I think we began to see as, in many cases, it's a way that you have to make things happen for yourself. And so you have to build on whatever you have.
I was so happy when I got this building. Yeah, it's good place, everything is perfect. I have a washer machine, I have a dryer, I have a bathroom, it's very bigger, I have everything, I have a central AC, I have everything is perfect.
Things changed a lot in 2020 with the killing of George Floyd. There were a couple dozen businesses that were completely lost at the time, and over 500 businesses had damage, had lost inventory, and were shuttered for days to weeks. We were fearful that a lot of entrepreneurs would leave and would never reopen their businesses. And then we were also afraid that a lot of those buildings would be sold to out-of-state investors.
Wells Fargo asked developers to submit what they would build. We went against major for-profit developers. Yeah, it was a bold move for a mid-sized nonprofit to take. At Project for Pride in Living, we do affordable housing. We have 1,800 affordable housing units scattered across the Twin Cities region. And then on the other side of the coin, we do workforce development, career readiness. We run 2 alternative high schools for Minneapolis Public Schools. We have an access lab, and we do financial literacy and home ownership coaching. We do this work for low-income individuals and families. We do the work that no one else will do. And what we said, and I carry this letter around, no doubt this path is more complex, difficult, and time-consuming. And we don't know exactly where we'll end up, but we will journey and arrive there together. We can't tell you what we're going to build, what the uses will be, how much it's going to cost, how big it's going to be, and how we're going to finance it. But what we can tell you is that you have an opportunity to redefine how you do development in this community that was impacted based on the civil unrest after the murder of George Floyd. So it was important that we hear from community, what did they want there? And that's exactly what happened with Opportunity Crossing.
When this building burned down, for a lot of business owners, it meant that, at least temporarily, they were going to lose that relationship with their trusted banker. That would have been incredibly difficult for the small business owners here.
It was a community, and in fact, our branch office here at Opportunity Crossing, or what is now Opportunity Crossing, was one of the busiest branch offices for Wells Fargo in the state of Minnesota. And it was truly a community meeting space where small business entrepreneurs would come, nonprofit leaders would come, and our banking customers. And we knew a lot of those people and got to know them over the years.
It tells you how much opportunity there was here in this community for more investment.
And yes, the tellers did speak multiple languages. It was kind of like a melting pot, that office. I think it provided a lot of security for the people who were using it. They felt at home there. They felt like they could get the resources they needed and they could speak their native language if they needed to.
When we really began the process of beginning the work at Opportunity Crossing, one of the things we did was a deep dive into Lake Street. And what we realized is that Lake Street has always been a place of, we'll call it migration or immigration, dating back to the Dakota people that were here. And so over the years, people have always moved to Lake Street. The Scandinavian communities as immigrants, the African American communities in the Great Migration, moving here as immigrants, the Latino entrepreneurs, the East African, the Somali community moved here as immigrants. And in this time, they all moved here for opportunity, that they came here as a place to build their homes, build wealth. And what was really unique about it is that it's always been a community of cultural people. And we often forget that.
Their culture was really the wealth and the ground creation for them being able to build and sustain their lives over time in this area.
The culture itself wasn't decoration. It wasn't the murals. The culture itself is the infrastructure that they could then look at a future moving forward. And in this moment, we wanted them to lean on that as they began to think about what would we be able to do here at Opportunity Cross.
Working with community was a long and lengthy process because you're asking community individuals, residents to imagine what do they want to see on that site, and the community delivered. So 4 main things came out of that: affordable housing, community gathering space, public art, and then the community said, we also want to own something. And so the concept of condoing the retail spaces was born out of community voice.
Design by Mello is an architecture and urban design service provider in the Twin Cities and beyond. We have 4 architects full-time, and we do anything commercial architecture. We can do large projects like this one. We can do tiny little projects when it's needed in the community. So I was able to add affordable housing to my portfolio or to my experience in 2021 when I was hired to design Opportunity Crossing.
We said, you represent everything we want in this project. And she said, well, I don't even have that experience.
We know you haven't done affordable housing. Yeah.
And we said, that's okay. We will teach you. Well, who's going to teach me? We will hire somebody to teach you. You don't even have to pay for it, because that's the PPL way.
I said, oh yeah, I want it. If you just told me that I don't know how to do this, and you still offering me, yes, I want it. The challenge never scared me.
Someone says affordable housing, I'm like, that's a challenging risk right there. And I always say affordable housing isn't affordable because it costs a lot to build, it costs a lot to insure, costs a lot to manage. There's nothing affordable about trying to achieve an altruistic end mean.
Weiss Builders is a construction manager that works across the country. Weiss was a part of the project here early on, trying to help the design team and the partners, the vendors, if you will, facilitate how to build this project, how to rebuild this plot, this property here, and how to do it sustainable and with local economic growth in mind. The most challenging part of this project from the pre-construction side was, as with every project, getting it within budget, right? So on this project, there was upwards of 20 plus different lenders on this project, and they all had different goals, different requirements, different criteria that had to be met. Minimum of 50% of our workforce had to live within a certain radius of the project. Over 1,000 different workers and workforces that played a role into putting all these parts and pieces together. A lot of the materials was sourced locally, within reason, obviously. Sustainability was one of the biggest kind of coordinational challenges to ensure that everybody was working in harmony to ensure that came to fruition. That's a very low carbon footprint there. We're utilizing solar panels on the top of the roof here. The entire roof is full of solar panels to utilize that solar energy to again, reduce any impacts there. And we're actually reutilizing all the rainwater that falls on the roof here within the building when we're flushing toilets and irrigating water. So we see a lot of those sustainability features kind of prescribed at one building here, one building there. It's very few and far between that we have a lot of those sustainable features baked into one project like this with the, like I said, the geothermal, the solar, the rainwater harvesting, reusing, the electrical vehicle charging stations that we have scattered throughout the building here.
So we decided to go green so that we could show other affordable housing developers and for-profit developers that you can do this. You can do geothermal in your unit. So we can work on saving the environment, also providing somebody a place to live, a path to thrive.
Darcy Solutions is a group of geologists, engineers, and other professionals that design and build a new type of geothermal system that uses groundwater to enable thermal exchange. So we can build in really tight urban environments where traditional geothermal isn't necessarily built very often. It's an extremely energy efficient system and it's very beneficial, but it's only about 0.5% of all commercial and industrial projects built today. There's not a lot of folks that know how to design and build these systems, even though they're very energy efficient.
This is a two-well system. As you can see here, this is the return piping, and this is the supply piping. And those are bringing all of the thermal capacity that's provided from those two wells into the building.
Geothermal in its most simplistic form, you're taking the temperature underground, which is very steady state, and using that to heat and cool the building. If you think about where we're at today, South Minneapolis, in the middle of March, it's about 5 degrees outside. So the air itself, if you were to try to warm that up to our 72 degrees that we're experiencing inside, it would take a lot to get that change in temperature. If you go down into the aquifer, it's 52 degrees, and you're only going to need to move it up about 20 degrees. So that means you're going to use a lot less energy to get the heating and cooling into the building than you would typically need. And that's true in the summer as well as in the winter. And that's why it's such an energy efficient technology. Cost is a challenge. Geothermal's typically more expensive up front. It's much less expensive in the total cost of ownership of the lifespan of the system, but oftentimes when organizations are looking at budgeting these types of systems, they're focused on that upfront cost. But ultimately it uses less fuel to operate, and so the total cost of ownership comes down over the lifespan of the system. The people that live here are going to be really happy with their lowered utility bills as well. You've got an asset that's going to be in place for a long period of time. O&M is very simple, or operations and maintenance. And you're going to see energy efficiency for the entirety of the building, which will ultimately drive the total cost of energy of the building required down.
The Opportunity Crossings has proven that affordable housing can have can break its reliance to natural gas in heating, and can use gray water, and can use the sun to provide energy. And so that we used what we learned from Opportunity Crossings in the request for proposals for the new nuclear project. And if we're thinking about our climate action goals and how we're building a city for people, for everybody in the city, this is a project that is just an absolute perfect calling card of what people we need to be doing.
The name Opportunity Crossing is very fitting. It means a lot of things in a lot of ways. Community, right? The community has come across as opportunities to thrive and to have a home that delivers on a lot of needs, but also a lot of aspirations, like the business owners. For my firm was a story changing, right? It's this moment that someone decides that we are going to do something differently, and we're going to invest in something in somebody. And in this case, it was in 110 families and in the Maris, so I'm grateful. I drive by the freeway and I look over every time. I have cried over this building so many times, and like driving by, like, oh my gosh, it's my building. Very proud. I'm very grateful.
waxaan insha Allah rajaynayaa inaan ganacsiga ka sameeyo oo ka furto insha Allah markay isbartadii noqoto guriga hoostiisa makana ku jiro hoostiisa kalaan.
The community asked for ownership. We decided that we would condo the retail spaces. And what that means is the actual entrepreneurs are going to own their retail space.
This is the prep area.
Why is this important? If the business owner owns their space, they have decision-making power.
This is where the magic will happen.
And it helps them also build equity. That was important because that ties into building generational wealth.
The commercial condos that PPL is building here, that's one of the things that I'm most excited about with this project. Really, it's a model that hasn't been tried a whole lot before. For many years, condos, have been an option for residents. They can be particularly appealing to people who don't have a lot of equity available to purchase a big house. And why shouldn't we have the same thing for small businesses as well?
What PPL did with this project should be a model in the country, giving opportunity to people who wouldn't have this kind of opportunity owning their own space. I came in 1997, very, very long time ago. Coming from Somalia, Africa, things were very challenging. Whether it's a civil war or lack of opportunities, it's been always tough. But coming here in the US, as we know, no experience, no job experience, no skills, and growing here in the Twin Cities, educating myself and creating jobs. The dream was to be an entrepreneur, and I have seen a lot of different opportunities. And the one that I finally landed is the restaurant business, hospitality, which I've been enjoying the last 16 years. To own a business with the property, it's the American dream. And here will be everybody's dream to have his own business spot. So it's going to be life-changing, not only for me, but also for the community. And also for me, building my own restaurant means you have a control of everything, the design. So from here on is the kitchen. This is the biggest kitchen that I ever imagined.
Commercial condos are a really great tool for our community. They allow entrepreneurs who are ready to move from renting and start to become owners and build assets for themselves and their family. But at the same time, when you own a condo, you don't have to deal with all the maintenance yourself. So you're allowing PPL to handle the maintenance, and that means a business owner can really focus on what they do best, which is running their business.
Food, it's something that's very, very special to everyone. It's what brings people together. We're not just selling food, but we're creating a space for people to meet, to mingle, to greet, and also to talk about issues in the community. So we're creating a flex community space. It's open to the community and the neighborhoods to come sometimes together and discuss about their issues, whether it's mornings or evenings. So we create this place to bridge the gap between communities here in the Twin Cities. We want people outside of the Twin Cities or outside of Lake Street area to come enjoy great food, to come see how this neighborhood is evolving, is changing. What's making America unique is because of the diversity. It's because of people who are coming with different perspective. That's what making America special. It's exactly what opportunity crossing means for me and for the community, bringing people together.
I just hope that city sees what's possible. It's the largest investment in that neighborhood after the murder of George Floyd. That's significant. It's a model that should be replicated. My hope for the city of Minneapolis, for the residents of Opportunity Crossing, is that they see what can come out of despair and destruction and grief and trauma. Something built so beautiful. It was important that the project not look like an affordable housing development. It does not.
Since, I moved this place, I feel much better. And also everything is perfect. So it's a good people and good house. The first time I came in United States, I came in New York. So second flight, there was in Hartford, Connecticut. And then that was nice place, but just a little bit. It's not like Minnesota, really. Everywhere you can get at something you can eat, but you know, without of safety, you cannot survive. You cannot feel happy, you know. So that's why I came in United States, the way I feel in my inside, because my kid is safe, I'm safe. So I say, God bless America.
Juxtaposition Arts is a social sculpture, which is a organization that impacts policy, economics, education, and art. PPO tapped us to do this project based on two projects that we completed, Shelby Commons and Emerson Village. This project, we were able to really go deep with the community engagement component through Anthony Taylor and the Cultural Wellness Center and their work over a series of years developing kind of a community visions engagement and what the people in the neighborhood wanted to see and how they wanted to be reflected. Opportunity Crossing is a area, one that is being redeveloped. There's a Kmart across the street that's going away that used to connect Nicollet across Lake Street. And the neighborhood has got a lot more diverse. So you have a lot of people from all over the world here on this corner in this area. And we wanted to find an artist that was able to reflect that. And so the search for an artist nationally that was able to have a practice that could really reach that, that's what we wanted to do. And so when we found Dr. Natrice Gaskins, like, her artwork is fabulous and can encompass kind of the pantheon of what that entails. Centering resident voice was a major part of it, but also people who work in the area, go to school in this area. This is an area that has a lot of commerce, a lot of education, a lot of economic stimulation. And so I think through the work that Cultural Wellness did, they were able to get those voices. And so how you see that represented in this mural is a combination of youth and a combination of elders, and then all the in-between. So we just don't leave out parts of the community that you might not see as much, but all the people that contributed as kind of a Sankofa moment. So you start to see that in the colors, in the people representation, how they're placed, where they're looking forward in the future, and looking back from where they came. But we have a lot of winter here, and it's very gray, so it was important to be able to warm the area up with color. Also, not just very solid blocks, but a mix or a blending. And I think that's what makes the mural strong, because that's a part of what makes Minneapolis and St. Paul super dope. The mixing and the blending of not just culture, but also food and language and art. And I think then that develops kind of a new culture. So you get to see within the color blocks, and within the color melding that actually manifests in the neighborhood.
waxaan qoronti baan ahaa fridge marka waa la soo qaaday fridge kan waxta qoronti baan ahaa and then kan qoronti baan soo galay and then waxaan galay wadankii waan ka soo qaxay wadankii saddexaad dan wasaasa la ugu qaabilay aad baan ugu faraxsanahay dan markaan soo guuray si degan baan soo guuray wax problem kala ma kulmin ilaa hadda waxa la siiyay parking lot-kii maanta aan galay marka aad iyo aad baan ugu faraxsanahay sidii soo dhaweeyay waana mahadsantahay waxaynu inta ku qoro inaan inta in the future inta anaga guri aan leenahay aan lagu gurin in the future inaan deganaan.
Opportunity Crossing is the most complex project in the 54-year history at Project for Pride in Living, and I always knew we would succeed.
Hope for all the families that are living here and will live here is that they feel the love. I want them to feel the experience of having a space that was designed with them in mind, that they know that they do deserve great design and great spaces. And I also hope they keep dreaming